So who's your favorite player for that the Jays got out of the 4 or 5? They got John Buck too. They got John Buck too.
Former Blue Jay.
You know what? That's okay. I don't count him either. We already had him before. You know what? I got a better question for you. With John Buck coming back to the Jays, what does that mean for Aaron Sebia or d'Arnaud?
John Buck will strictly be a backup.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
$6 million last year. They're just eating salary there. They're doing the Marlins a favor. I think Aaron Sebia will be the starting catcher again, and d'Arnaud will go in AAA. And if all goes as planned, Aaron Sebia will have a good year with the Jays. Buck will have a decent year spelling them, and d'Arnaud will just rip up AAA so that next year the Jays have options on whether to go with d'Arnaud, keep Aaron Sebia. So that would be the ideal thing.
Do you trade Aaron Sebia? If the deal's right and you bring up d'Arnaud and you have Buck as your everyday catcher and d'Arnaud is there, do you trade Aaron Sebia?
I don't, because he's developed relationships with the pitchers for the past 3 years. Granted, they got a lot of new names. They've revamped the bullpen. But JP's so good at just getting to know the pitchers, what they want to throw in certain situations. And, I mean, John Buck will learn that as the season goes on. But if you bring up d'Arnaud, he's going to be a rookie. It's going to be overwhelming for him. He's going to have to meet standards of hitting. He's going to have to get pitching relationships. I wouldn't do it. Leave d'Arnaud, leave him in AAA, bring him up slowly, and work from there.
You said you came in with a batting order, or was it your own pitching rotation?
I got a batting order. I got a rotation.
All right, I'm interested in what you have, what you think is going to happen here. I think I disagree with you on a few things, but anyways, let's start with the batting order. What do you think?
Well, let's look at the holes first. Let's say it's a week ago today.
Yeah. And
what do the Jays need? They need at least 2 pitchers who are going to eat innings. They need a left fielder. So you got Rasmus in center then. Okay, we can deal with Rasmus. You got your MVP out in right field. Third baseman Laurie. He's a rock there. There's question marks on Escobar. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what's happening at second base. Anybody is an upgrade over Kelly Johnson. And then you got first base. It'll either be Encarnacion or Lind, and then the other will DH. And then at catcher, you got Aaron Sebia and Mathis. But you got a lot of question marks at pitcher and left field, shortstop, second base, middle of the diamond. Doing this deal, Mark Burley, he gets you 200 innings. He might not win you 20 games. He might be a 500 pitcher, but he's going to eat up 200 innings. He's pitched at least 200 innings since 2001, so he's a horse there. And
he's relatively healthy, and he can eat up innings for injured pitchers. Like we experienced that this year in Toronto.
Drew Hutchison, Kyle Drabek, they may be the future, but right now we need guys who are going to be the present. And I think Mark Burley is a great ad for Toronto. Josh Johnson, again, he's got ace stuff. The guy could win Cy Young, I think, if he stayed healthy. Granted, it's a 1-year program here, but you have those 4. I've got Romero in the rotation.
Who's your opening day pitcher?
I go Ricky Romero just because
really?
I give him the benefit of the doubt. He's the ace. He had a bad year. I'm gonna say that something was bothering him. He recently had elbow surgery. So yes, I know Morrow pitched lights out, but I'm sticking Ricky Romero. I give him the benefit of the doubt. I got Morrow at 2, Burley at 3. I got Johnson at 4 just because I wouldn't want 2 lefties going in a row.
Whoa.
Because J.A. Happ's my 5th guy.
You got Johnson at 4.
I got Johnson at 4.
Okay, continue.
You can laugh, but think about it. If you're laughing, that just shows the Jays are pretty deep at pitching all of a sudden.
But see, I would not put Romero first. I'm sorry.
Who's your number 1?
Johnson.
And then number 2?
Number 2, probably Morrow. I'd put Morrow number 2.
But if you do that, and then you have Romero, Burley, and Happ going, it's 3 lefties in a row. I'm just doing it based off matchups.
But
what's more difficult for the other team? What's going to give us the best chance to win? If Josh Johnson is my number 4 pitcher, I'm loving life.
True, but that's only because you put Romero first. You know how much I love the guy. He's a great ambassador for the Jays, and he's a good leader. But he had a bad year. You cannot put him first.
I got nothing to say.
But it's true. You look at the year he had, it was atrocious. You cannot put him as your opening day pitcher. You just can't.
He gets paid the big bucks. He's got to perform. I put him in.
Johnson gets paid more bucks, and he's better than Romero. I understand what you mean. You have to divide righty-lefty, righty-lefty, or lefty-righty, lefty-righty. I get that. You know, you need to have variation in your starting rotation, but you also need to make sure that you are setting a standard for the pitchers who are younger. Romero's still young.
See, I know that if the Blue Jays face off against the Yankees, I know Ricky Romero can go up against CC Sabathia. I know that. It's when say you're in a playoff series, you know Romero can go up against Sabathia. And then when you start going, you go, okay, I got Brandon Morrow. He can go up against Phil Hughes. And then the Yankees lose Kuroda. And then all of a sudden you got Josh Johnson is going up against who? Ivan Nova? The Jays got a good pitching staff. You can't go wrong with who you got, where you got them.
Yeah. I love Morrow's stuff, though. He easily could. If Johnson wasn't on this team, Morrow could be number 1.
He should be number 1.
I mean, Romero obviously has that chance to be number 1. You put him in number 1. But I'm telling you now, Morrow, in my honest opinion, is a better pitcher than Romero. And he's going to eventually turn out to be a better pitcher than Romero when he's older.
As for the lineup, I said a week ago today, there's a lot of holes in the rotation, a lot of holes in the lineup. The bullpen's probably set. But as for the lineup, you add an all-star in Jose Reyes. Won the batting title 2 years ago.
Where do you put him?
Oh, he leads off. He's the best leadoff guy in the game. So you got Reyes at 1, playing shortstop, batting first. And then you can go a lot of different ways at number 2. You can go Melky Cabrera. You can go Brett Lowry. You can go Colby Rasmus. Or you can go Emilio Bonifacio. You can go Bonifacio for the speed. Him and Reyes would run over everybody.
I go Bonifacio because of this. He's one of the best base stealers in the game.
See, and again, you're going to rip me apart. I have Colby Rasmus. Reason I have Colby Rasmus is the guy played so well in the number 2 spot, hitting behind Laurie and ahead of Batista. He saw so many fastballs, and without a doubt, when Colby Rasmus was the best player on the Jays the second half of the year last year.
So, what do you do with Bonifacio then, assuming he's not?
Well, we'll get to that. So I got Reyes, Rasmus, Batista's hitting third like he always does. Encarnacion's cleanup. Hopefully he comes back to what he did last year. I'm a little worried about him, but I'm going to say he's the DH. And then I got Melky Cabrera at 5. Switch hitter.
No.
Okay.
Melky Cabrera cannot be number 5 or 6.
Well, where would you put him?
You know what? I would move your lineup down just once. One spot. Everyone. Except for Reyes. Reyes always should be your leadoff every single game. I would put what you originally suggested. Melky Cabrera's 2. Or
you can't go wrong.
Or Bonifacio 2, and then Melky Cabrera.
And then Batista cleanup.
Exactly.
See, I don't
Encarnacion
think Batista
after
doesn't
that.
like cleanup. He needs to bat third. He needs to come up the first inning of every single game.
You have 2 40 home run players on your team.
You got one, and then the other one you got to wait and see. Encarnacion, he'll hit you 20. Let's see, was 40 a fluke last year? We'll see.
Is 20 acceptable this year? I think it is.
The way
the Jays play well enough.
The way the Blue Jays are set up is that if everybody plays normal, not exceeding expectations, not underachieving, if everybody plays the way they're supposed to, they'll be a playoff team. If Colby Rasmus hits 20 home runs, 70 RBIs, like he can,
Colby Rasmus hits 20 home runs. I'm going to be dancing naked in the streets. I'm sure we don't want to see that.
He did last year. If Batista hits...
That's what I'm saying.
If Batista hits 30, just 30, drives in 100...
That's decent.
If Encarnacion hits 25, drives in 90. If Cabrera hits 15, drives in 80, the Blue Jays are going to be okay.
How much do you expect?
And I'm not even bringing up Brett Lawrie.
I was just going to say, how much do you expect from Lawrie this season? He had a he didn't have a very good season last year. Well, that's for sure.
I got him in my number 6 spot behind Cabrera. The Jays used him last year primarily as a leadoff man, and he did really well in that spot.
His base running is suspect, though. He needs to work on it.
He's an all-out guy. Like, he goes all out for everything.
He's a different kettle of fish, man.
A leadoff guy, you know what, though? A leadoff guy, they say, is supposed to take pitches, work the pitcher. Yeah, and Brett Lawrie just goes up there hacking, and that's why I think he's suited for the middle of the order. I don't want to put him in at 3, 4, or 5. I don't want him to have a huge role if he doesn't need to. You got Batista, you got Encarnacion, and you got Cabrera. If you can put Lawrie in at 6, I think he'll flourish there. There's not a lot of pressure.
Who's DH?